Hi everybody, another quick video about how my life changed from pretty darn depressing to an incredible adventure. And I was going to do something else, but changed my mind this morning because I and Susie had a little fight over the weekend. Now don't worry about it. That's it happens often enough. We're pretty darn good at handling it, and two, we've been with each other long enough it doesn't matter. We're fine. But I do this little thing to get me over my bad moods once in a while, and I realized this might be really, really useful for other people too. So anyways, here we go. In your heart and minds, everybody has two rooms, all right? One of these rooms I call the gloom room. You can call it anything you want, but that's where you put the bad things people have done to you, the bad things you've done to other people, and the bad stuff that just happens because life just happens, all right? Sometimes bad stuff happens for no reason. Then there's this other room. I call it the bloom room, all right? And that's where the good stuff people have done for us goes. The good stuff that I've done for others and the good stuff in life that just happens. And we have a choice. Every time an event happens, we should maybe, and this is what I try to do when there's a significant event, actually imagine going into the room and hanging the event on the wall, all right? Putting it in there, deciding which it goes in, and putting it up there. And some events, they can go in either one or both sometimes. That's really not that uncommon. And as time goes on and we learn stuff, we a lot of times move stuff from one room to another. All those things are okay, and you should imagine yourself doing it. But here's the key. It doesn't matter which room you put it in, and it doesn't really matter which room is fuller. What matters in your life is which room you spend your time in, okay? Because your time is your most valuable commodity out there. And when you're sitting here thinking, one, you assume that your thoughts and what you tell yourself is true, so you don't lie to yourself. Who would do that, right? Well, we do it all the time, but who would really do that? So when you're sitting around thinking, what room you spend your time on and which memories you go over and what you're reliving, that's what determines your mood most of the time, okay? So I'm going to attach later a link to something you can download, okay? But you can do it with a plain sheet of paper too. I strongly recommend you do two little exercises. One, go ahead and make a list, a separate piece of paper for each one of stuff that's in your gloom room and stuff that's in your bloom room. And remember, how long each one is really doesn't matter, but I'd sure make it a competition to make the bloom room longer than the gloom room, but it's up to you. All right? Now, and here's the next part that really does matter, though. Take the time and write out in your own handwriting a vivid description of each room. All right? So, now, what you do is as the day goes on, you stop and take time and think and ask yourself, which room am I in right now? And is that the room I actually want to be in? When I'm struggling, I'll set an alarm on my watch so that once an hour it comes up and it asks me, what room you in? Okay? What room you in? And I think it out, make it purposeful. So, because that'll make a big difference. But take the time to vividly describe your room. Now, I'm just going to share with you my descriptions, okay? So here goes. My gloom room comes first, right? It's a big room. It's cold and it's dark. It's not a cave, more like a morgue. It smells like mold, and the only sounds are some bats and the groans of a man. The groans come from a cross in the center of the room, and the man on the cross is barely alive. He's bloodied and beaten beyond recognition, and every time I walk in the room, he looks at me, and I can't help but look him right in the eye. I'm holding a whip and a hammer in one hand, and my memory in the other. And after looking at the man on the cross and what's in my hands, I just toss my meaningless memory on a big pile of junk that's there by the door. And I walk back out. And then as I turn, the guy on the cross, he grimaces a little smile at me. That's my gloom room. Now here's my bloom room. It's actually a courtyard. It's built around the entrance of a cave, and the cave has a stone that once covered the opening. The stone's cast aside now. There's lots of plants and trees and animals and things like that. And couple years ago, I added a pool, all right? There's benches and open spaces, and there's walls around and cliffs, really, more like, and they're covered with memories everywhere. And every time I walk in this room, this football comes flying right at me, and I have to make a one-handed catch while I hold the newest memory in my other hand. And I smile at the guy who throws the ball at me. He waves a wounded hand back at me, and he smiles a huge smile. I can still see the scars on his forehead, but of course the thorns are gone now. And I holler, "Hey, I'm going to drop one of these sometime." He just hollers back, "Memories don't break that easy." When I'm in that room, I literally play catch or go swimming with my friend Jesus. We talk about anything and everything, including latest football games or fun things I did with my kid. Even painful stuff. We talk about it all. The room's full of life and love, and who wouldn't want to spend time there? So that's my rooms. That's my little video for the day. Remember, life's never going to be a walk in the park, so don't go on a walk. Go on an adventure. Thank you.